Hi everyone, Mr. Canadian Dad here with another Reactor watch review. The watches that I'll be reviewing today are called the Source, model of the Source. Most of the Reactor watches come in this type of a packaging, right from the retailer that you'll be buying from. This is what Reactor calls a second use or multiple use packaging. This is actually quite environmentally friendly. Basically, it is a very tough package, made very durable so that when they ship it, it's actually well protected. And then the top portion here actually doubles as a beer or pop koozie, or cozy, however you want to say it. And actually, you can throw your pop or beer in there. It keeps it nice and chilled during those hot summer months. Very nice and very handy. Comes with a little nice foam pad here on the end so that it acts as its own coaster and doesn't slip or slide on surfaces. The only packaging you actually have is a paper liner here that you can peel off, and it exposes the aluminum or the stainless steel packaging that this is made of. I believe it's aluminum. So very environmentally friendly and very smart. And this is how the watch comes from Reactor in most cases. I'm going to pop that off. If you'll notice on the underside here, you get your extra links and your warranty card and instruction booklet underneath there. And then this just adheres magnetically to the bottom of the base. So if you're looking for your links there, that's what they'll be. Just slide this off of the holder. And this is the new Source solid or golden color version of the watch. If you notice what I'm wearing here, I'm wearing also the black version of the same watch. And so we'll discuss both of them and go over them in detail. If you notice what I'm wearing here, I'm wearing also the black version of the same watch. And so we'll discuss both of them. We'll first start off with some information on the specs of the watch. As you can see, it's a rather large faced watch. It's a 49mm diameter watch. And in comparison to other watches, for example, my critical mass watch that I've shown you in the past, you can see it's quite large compared to that. And even compared to my Poseidon LE, you can see it's really quite a very large watch. One of the largest actually that I've seen. Probably compares to some of the other watches like Hamilton, which is known for very large watch faces. But not as good quality as this, I don't think. It's 12.5 millimeters thick, which is quite slender for Reactor. It's 210 grams, which is quite hefty. Once again, not as much as the Poseidon, which is 255 grams, but significantly more than some of the other. 31 millimeters at the lug, and once again, 22 millimeters at the clasp. It has the triple secure clasp closure, which is common to most other watches, Reactor watches. It's very secure, a very nice clasp. And one thing that it has that is very noticeable is the free-floating watch band, which makes it extremely comfortable to wear on just about any size wrist because of the free-floating nature of the watch bands here at the lugs. It does not catch underneath. If you are trying to figure out what free-floating means, that means that it does not catch underneath. It's free to move and adjust to any size wrist. So it's extremely comfortable on just about any size of wrist, large or small. As is the case with most of the other Reactor watches, it is made with the solid forged 316L marine grade stainless steel. In this case, it has the gold IP plated finish, and then this watch has the black nitride plated finish. It has the best grade K1 hardened Japanese mineral glass that is common to most of the other Reactor watches as well. And you're comfortable, and you should be comfortable in knowing that with so much glass real estate, there is quite a lot of real estate there, that it is extremely scratch resistant and shatter resistant. And that's good to know because there is a lot of glass there. This watch also comes in a couple of other colors and configurations. It comes in an all silver configuration with the black face. It comes in all silver with black and red face as well, and then, as I've indicated already, the gold with black and then black with silver face, which is quite nice. Lots of selection. What is really unique about this watch is that it has a dual time zone mechanism. It's dual movement and dual time. This one clock here is one time movement, and then there's another time movement here. Obviously you can see that. To adjust this time movement inside, you undo this crown here. I'll see if I can get that closer. Pop it open, and you're free to adjust that time as needed and set that. So you could set that for your villa in Hawaii and lock that down. And then you adjust the other time on the other side with the main crown here, popping that open and popping it open twice, and then adjust it accordingly as well. Showing you the chronograph function of the watch here, you can see the red arm there on the main movement. The upper button here is what starts the chronograph. You can see it ticking away there. And then same button, push it again, stops the chronograph. And then this bottom button resets the chronograph. Now looking at the black version with the black nitride finish, you can see that it's an extremely high quality finish on this watch. I have to say that the quality of the finish for both the gold and the silver versions of the watch is absolutely spectacular. The quality of the finish is unbelievable. You know, when you compare it to, let's say, my Citizen version of the watch, I can see that the nitride finish of the black actually looks deeper, darker, and probably more durable and thicker on the REACTOR version than on my Citizen version. It's absolutely spectacular and much finer looking. And of course, as well, with something like an MTM Special Ops watch, it compares probably better than that as well. Very, very durable, feels fantastic, and very good quality finish on the REACTOR watches. I'll see if I can get in a little closer here so you can take a bit closer look at the watch. I know that was one of the suggestions that was made to me from my previous review. So we'll kind of turn the watch and let you get a look at the watch from all angles. You see the clasp there is quite nice. Nice contacts, nice close mechanism. You can see on the edges there's a little bit of a sandblasted line, or a couple of lines on the sides that just adds a little bit of a tailored finished look to it. Quite unique, but very good quality finish. And I'll show a nice close-up of the face. As you can see, the face is kind of reminiscent. It reminds me a bit of a very fine or high quality stopwatch or pocket watch. Very good quality, very nice, very flat and classy looking. Okay, so I'd like to talk to you a bit about some of my insights and first observations. You know, when I first got this watch and put it on, my wife commented and said, "Holy cow, that thing's huge. Talk about some bling." And indeed, it does look rather large, especially for me. I'm not used to wearing such large watches. Some people really like them, but you know, I'm getting used to it. But after a while, she said that, you know, it grows on you. It actually looks quite nice, and I would have to agree. It does grow on you, and it does begin to look a little bit more normal after you've worn it for a while. It definitely attracts attention. Actually, it does wear smaller than it is, actually, and I must say that that's the case. It fits very nicely on your wrist, and the crowns don't dig into your hand at all, which is quite nice. One thing that's really interesting about this watch that I need to mention is the orientation of the digits on the mini movement. Normally, you would get digits that would align with your views. You see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They kind of are aligned with your view of the watch, whereas on this watch, they actually go upside down as you're going down to the 6. You see the 6 is upside down, the 7's upside down, 5's upside down. That's a little bit unique. It took a little bit of getting used to at first for me, for my brain to click over and notice to read those digits upside down. On the other movement, there are no digits on the outside dial, outside ring, but on the inner dials for the chronograph for 24-hour time, and then seconds and minutes there, once again, the digits are upside down and oriented exactly instead of oriented towards your view of them. Another thing that I noticed about this watch, I don't know if you consider it a negative, it's just for me it's just a question. What is it? I don't understand. That is all of the hash marks or the tick marks on the outside circumference of the watch. I don't get it. It's just me. There's a lot of these the tick marks along here, and there's no digits associated with them. There's no numbers on there. It just looks like they're purely for decoration. I get, okay, if that's what they're for, then okay. It looks interesting, but I don't see that there's a practical use for that. And for me, it might look like it's a little bit superfluous. I don't know if it's really needed. Maybe there could have been some other type of design that's around there. I don't know, but it looks like maybe they were thinking of putting in a rotating bezel at one point and then decided against it. I'm not sure. It is a very unique face design though. I love the Reactor insignia in gold there. As I said before, it's very flat and very classic looking. You look at that and it looks like a very, very fine pocket watch or a very fine stopwatch. Very good quality. I would say that this watch probably is one of those types of watches that you either love it or you hate it, and there's not too many in-betweens. One other item I forgot to mention here in my insights section is that the case back is a little bit different than most of the other watches in one respect, and that is, it's a very large, solid stainless steel case back, and I think because it's so large, I think they've etched the case back using lasers. I think it's laser etched. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think it's stamped or forged. I think it's laser etched, and because of that, the edges on the back design are actually quite sharp. I mean, I don't think they'd cut you on your wrist, but you can feel that the ridges are quite sharp. That is the same as my MTM watch. The sword that's on the back of the MTM watch, it has the same type of laser etched characteristic, and it is quite, a little bit sensitive, a little bit sharp to the touch. When you wear it, you don't really notice it that much unless you're moving it on your wrist quite a bit, but I don't know if I can get in there and have you see the kind of detail on the back at all, but it is quite a sharp surface. Just something to be aware of. So there's a couple of different watches that you might want to look at. Once again, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and drop me a line at Mr. Canadian Dad on YouTube, and look for other reviews in the future. Thank you very much.